Amen. We're looking at, still on this section, dealing with the man of love and dealing with part 4, husbands, love your wife. And we looked at these first 3, as Christ so loved the church, gave himself for it, sanctified and cleansed it by the word. Those established those 3 things. Key in understanding the position of the man. Your job is to love your wife. That's what you're supposed to do. You are commanded to love her. And like I said last week, not when she's loving, not when she's lovable, not when she's just easy to love. No, when she seems to be a knucklehead, because what Satan is trying to do is to get to her to get to you. And you got to step in between. And don't be like Adam, die with her. No, you're supposed to be like Jesus in John 10, die for her. He said, I laid down my life for the sheep. Sheep don't have to die. I'm laying down my life for them. That's the attitude that we have to have, that we're willing to do that for our wives. To lay down, I'm not talking about taking a bullet again. That's not what it is. That's the easy one. We're talking about if I got to turn a plate down, if I've got to stay on my knees for the next 2 or 3 hours calling on the name of the Lord to beseech on her behalf, to cast the enemy off of her, whatever has to happen. Because we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. It's not my job to beat my wife up. So I get the wrong perspective. It's my job to beat up the enemy trying to attack her. That's what I got to see. And I've got to have spiritual eye. If I'm the priest of my household, I've got to have spiritual eye. Because I've got to see what the enemy is trying to do. And I've got to call it for what it is. We have D. In my loving her, that she might be glorious. My loving her brings glory to her. My love, remember now, this is what we went over last week. As the man is to Christ, so is the woman to the church. So as Christ loves the church and presents it glorious, so is the man to do to his wife and present her glorious. This is why Paul made emphasis of this. I could lead about a sister, a wife. See, I got to understand first, she's my sister. So I've got a responsibility to live a life before her, let her see Christ in me. I'm not supposed to be making her stumble and fall. I'm supposed to be building her up in the things of the Lord, that she might be presented glorious. And when I love her, that's my responsibility, that I understand this is my sister. So what am I doing? If I go gossiping to my sister, boy, I'm causing her to gossip. If I go lying to my sister or go ask her to lie, then I'm teaching her to lie. But that's my wife. How am I presenting her glorious to the Lord? And I'm supposed to be pushing in every effort to get her to be glorious unto God. You know, I noticed something about a lot of men. They don't say anything about their wives until somebody else does. They don't compliment their wives, say, honey, you look good today. You're ravishing in my eyes. Throw some of that G all over. Yeah, you. That's my word. You just throw that out. No, you raise your hand. Keep on going. Do what you got to do. I don't even want to hear from the gallery right there. I knew the peanut gallery was going to have something to say. That you ravish on her. You're supposed to compliment. I don't worry about men complimenting my wife because before she leaves the house, I've already done it. I've already told her how beautiful she is. I've already told her how radiant she looks. I already told her I'm dating you all over again. You know, I'm already grabbing her by the hand and giving her one of them French. Ooh la la, kid. Yeah, I'm already swooning her. So I don't worry about anybody else. So if they come up and say something, she's looking at me like, boo, bye. See what I already got? Hey. But if you don't, and you don't give that, now somebody else steps up. Man, you look good. You look so nice today. Man, I mean, you just got a glow about you. You know. Now you upset. Now you ready to punch somebody. When you be talking about my wife like that. Really? Why you upset? Why should it matter? If I've already done my job and I'm presenting her gloriously, then I've already given her her compliment. I've already patted her on the back. I've already made it known of what she looks like to me. Just as Jesus did the church. He put the church out there gloriously. Is the church in glory yet? Is the church in glory yet? Is it in a state of glory yet? The way we see it, no. So much going on, but in his eyes, already there. Because he knows what it's going to be. He knows what it's growing into. He knows what it's going to become. So he's looking at it as a glorious church. That's how we have to look, at our wives. Not currently what they are or why they are, but what they're going to be. What their potential is. How God raises them up. How he puts them in that place. And we've got to see that in them. And then, as we see that in them, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing. That's the way the church is going to be. Well, that's why I wash her with the word. I sanctify her. Because that's where I want her to be. Without spot or wrinkle or any such thing. Again, you don't scrub her. You don't throw the water at her. You don't hit her with the soap. You don't take a ball brush and bathe her with it. No. Same gentle way. You make sure you wash her with the word so that she might be glorious, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing. And she begins to walk in that glory of God. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your job, to present her in that way, to build her up in that way, to push her in that direction. You're not trying to push her down, suppress. No, you're trying to push her more toward Christ in that continual relationship with Christ. So that's what you want. That's where you want her to be. That's where you want her to plateau at, to be in that relationship with God. So that she can accomplish this. So that she could be holy and without blame. As man is to Christ, so is the woman to the church. And Christ is presenting the church holy and without blame. And as men, that's our responsibility to our wives, to present them holy and without blame unto God. To wash them with that word, to be an example to them, to love them as Christ so loved the church. That's what we're supposed to do. That's the way we're supposed to walk. And that's what they're supposed to glean from us. That's why the Bible told us at the beginning that you're supposed to submit yourself to your own husband. Well, is he submittable too? That's the question. Is he submittable to? Is he worth submitting to? Man, you want her to submit, but are you worth submitting to? Are you going to give her